So, we're about to unpack a game plan that is just so big. It isn't measured in years, but in decades. We're going to dive into a really fascinating interview with Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella to pull back the curtain on the colossal strategy he is betting on to win the AI revolution. Right off the bat, Nadella isn't just talking about a cool new app or some new service. No, he sees this as a fundamental shift in how our entire world operates. And because of that, Microsoft is placing a massive, multi-trillion-dollar bet to build the very foundation of this new age. So how are they actually pulling this off? Well, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the mind-boggling scale of this new industrial revolution. Then, we'll tackle the billion-dollar dilemma that's facing pretty much every single builder in this space. After that, we'll uncover Microsoft's brilliant scaffolding strategy. And finally, we're going to see why this is a 50-year game, not just a 5-year sprint. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get what Microsoft is up to, you have to picture the raw, physical scale of what they're building. I mean, we're talking about actual concrete, steel, and fiber optics on a level the world has literally never seen before. Forget about small, incremental upgrades. Microsoft is chasing exponential growth. Their goal? To 10x their AI training power every couple of years. We're talking about building data centers that honestly feel like they're straight out of science fiction. And this is where the scale just becomes, well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. A single one of these new buildings has almost as many network connections as their entire global cloud did just a few years ago. That number, 5 million, think about it like this. It's like running a dedicated fiber optic cable to every single home in a city the size of Philadelphia and having them all terminate inside one building. The density is just staggering. You gotta love the irony when Nadella says this, because it perfectly captures the paradox at the heart of their strategy. Microsoft, the quintessential software company, has now become one of the biggest industrial construction firms on the entire planet. So let's move on to the central problem all of this creates. Because when you're spending billions and billions on physical infrastructure, you are facing a high-stakes dilemma that could very easily bankrupt a company that wasn't prepared for it. This is the question. This has to be what keeps every AI leader up at night. The technology is just evolving so incredibly fast that the model architecture or the chip design you optimize for today could be completely and totally obsolete tomorrow. Nadella actually has a great term for this. He calls it the winner's curse. Imagine this. You could pour billions into building the absolute perfect, hyper-efficient data center for today's #1 AI model, only for a competitor to have a new breakthrough that makes your entire investment basically worthless. This slide right here really captures the razor's edge they're walking. On one hand, you could go all in, optimize everything for today's best tech, and get absolutely maximum performance. The risk? You could end up with a billion-dollar paperweight. On the other hand, you can build for flexibility. That means you're not perfectly optimized for any one thing, but you're built to last. It is a massive, massive gamble either way. So the crucial point is this. Betting everything on a single architecture is just a terrifying risk. One scientific discovery, one new approach to model design, and your entire physical plant, your entire investment could become a huge liability. And this brings us to Microsoft's really elegant solution. See, if you can't bet on a single building, you bet on the scaffolding that can support any kind of building. You become the indispensable platform that everything else is built on top of. This is the core pivot, and it comes directly from Nadella himself. They see a future where their business isn't just about selling tools like Office to humans, it's about providing the essential infrastructure, the digital workspace, for autonomous AI agents to do their jobs, no matter who builds them. And they're not just doing one thing, they are attacking this on 4 different fronts. First, they're building the raw infrastructure with Azure. Second, they're partnering with the best in the business, like OpenAI, to stay on the cutting edge. Third, they're building their own models, so they're never left behind. And fourth, they're owning the apps where we all work, like Office and GitHub. It's really a full stack assault. Take GitHub, for instance. It is the absolute perfect illustration of this strategy in action. Microsoft has its own AI coding tool, Copilot, but it has tons of competition. But, and here's the brilliant part, almost all of those competitors are built on GitHub. So no matter who wins the AI coding war, Microsoft still wins because they own the ground that everyone is fighting on.
And this isn't just some clever business play. This is a long-term vision that actually scales up to influence global economics and even geopolitics. They are thinking far, far beyond the next quarterly earnings report.
This quote really gets to the heart of their entire mindset. They're not just building data centers. They're building industrial and political capital for a technological era that they believe is going to define the next half-century. And now there's a whole new global force coming into play: sovereign AI. Countries are waking up to the fact that controlling their own AI is a matter of national security. They don't just want to use American AI, they want their own. And that means the physical data centers have to be on their soil. Well, Microsoft's global construction blitz makes them the perfect partner for any nation that wants to build its own AI future. And that leaves us with this final kind of provocative question. As AI becomes as fundamental as electricity, who's going to hold the ultimate power? Will it be the companies that invent the next brilliant model, a breakthrough that, might be fleeting? Or will it be the company that owns the physical world, the power grid, the factories, and the scaffolding that all future intelligence is going to depend on?